and welcome to the Help Where Nerds podcast. Today I'm joined by two nerds of the round table. Do you want to introduce yourself, guys?
I'm Rob. I'm back. Yay.
He's the OG. And I'm Ashley, and I'm top nerd for this year. Let's see if I remain top nerd by the end of it.
Yes, I believe you did do the quiz in your own time, Rob, and scored very similar to Ashley. So
Yeah, I did.
we'll
Oh,
we'll see how that plays out in this year's big quiz at Christmas when we do that again, because we're gonna make that an annual thing because that was too fun.
definitely.
But welcome everyone to the beginning of season 2 of the Help Where Nerds podcast. Obviously, we've had the D&D one shots to tide us over for the past couple of months, but we're officially back for season 2.
Yay.
So, Rob's finally out the office, and we've decided that this year it won't just be me and Rob rambling on and boring you guys to death. We're going to have a mediator in the middle to keep us on track. It won't always be Ashley. They will be swapping in and out, but that means that if one of us is ill, we won't have to miss a episode as well. So that will always be an episode of Help Where Nerds.
Yay.
I think it's important as well to say that, like, it's for levels of nerdiness too.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if it comes across to like the listeners, but trust me, Ethan and Rob, this is their life. Like, they just record conversations that they have, like, but these conversations go on all the time. So they live in the nerddom and in different nerddoms as well. That's important to say. They both have their niches. I'm here to represent the casual nerd, I guess.
No, my other half was saying this the other day that it is generally just me and Ethan just recording our conversation.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just two friends talking like we would normally, and I just happened to turn on a microphone.
Yeah.
Um, so
So I'm guess I'm the kind of buffer for the listener, as will the other people that join in and out. We're not experts in any of this, so we're just the lay people nerds.
it's like
Not listeners.
it's like when you start a new TV show and there's always that character that's you're jumping on point as a watcher. You know, the person that knows nothing about the world, and then there's everybody else that knows absolutely everything, and they're just exposition dumping on the main character, and the poor main character is like, what the fuck's going on?
Basically, the audience character.
Yeah, the audience insert.
Yeah, that's what I'll be. Don't worry, and I'll try and translate as well if they say something super nerdy. But you have no idea what's going off.
Yes.
We're in this together, listener.
Yeah. You did point out after the Not Rob saga that we kind of needed a translator. So.
Not about that.
I think she was more talking about me than you, but...
Definitely. And I can't say that, because we're related.
I didn't want to say anything, Ethan, but yeah.
Yeah, I may as well be speaking Dothraki the way that I talk when I'm getting too
And you go on
into
and on
it.
and on.
Dothraki, Klingon, Elvish.
Well,
Choose your nerddom language, yeah?
I mean, I do have Elvish tattooed on my arm, so...
You do. Right. Well, start of season 2. I guess before we go into today's topic, have we got any snippets for the listeners for what season 2 will bring? Do you guys know yet? Like, do you have flavors of the topics you might be covering?
We have some ideas. I do want to dive back into Harry Potter. I know you expressed some interest in that, Ash. Diving back into more of the Fantastic Beasts side and what it should have actually been.
Yes, I want to come at this from a kind of mythological standpoint and say what you want about J.K. Rowling, but a lot of the Harry Potter magic universe that she built is built on a lot of Celtic and British mythology. So I kind of want to talk a little bit about that, and you want to talk about the films and really what they could have been. So that could be an episode where we could actually find the real Fantastic Beasts of the Harry Potter universe, I guess.
Yeah. You were saying, Rob, sorry.
Them films get too much hate.
They do. The third one's not that great.
The problem with the third one, everybody hated it more because Johnny Depp was in it.
That's very true.
It is true, but it is also lackluster compared to the other two. But it's
But
because
you take away the Johnny Depp hate.
Yeah, I know. It does diminish, but we can get into that in that episode, I suppose.
I didn't know about the Celtic stuff, though. That's cool.
So,
yeah.
I'm going to end up down a rabbit hole later on, I am.
Exactly. Well, I think Rob's signing himself up for this episode.
Another episode that I wanted to look at, where it does, whoever wants to join on with me can, is why after what happened with Jurassic Park, I personally think it should go extinct, that franchise.
Right?
Oh, controversial.
It is controversial.
Scarlett Johansson's in the next one.
I liked it. I liked the originals, and I liked Jurassic World. I think it went downhill from there, and that's all I'll say without spoiling it, because I want to dive more into it in an actual episode.
Okay, and then I'm assuming we're also going back to Doctor Who.
Oh, we'll definitely be going back to Doctor Who. That is our top-rated episode from last season. We have to dive back into that.
Plus, we're both very nerdy, and I've got about 4 screwdrivers.
Yeah, I mean, not that you can see right now, but if you check me out when I'm on Twitch, you can see it in the background. I've got David Tennant's screwdriver on display. So
I've got Matt's. I've got Peter's TARDIS looking one, which is my favourite because it's TARDIS looking. And I've got the remote, as people call it.
it looks like a Sky remote.
Oh no, it does. But I like the difference.
Oh yeah, it's unique, but it does look like a Sky remote rather than a screwdriver.
Oh yeah, it does. And I wish they'd stop all this crap about it being cancelled.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. But the rumour mill's gonna rumour mill.
But all it is Disney getting rid of it, and Disney, that matters nothing to us.
Exactly.
As long as it stays on the BBC, I don't think us British.
To be honest, I want it to go back to just being on the BBC because Disney gave it too big of a budget. It needs its cheese back.
It does. And I wish people would stop going, oh my god, it's gone woke. It's always been fucking woke.
Absolutely agreed. Like, if you don't think Doctor Who's been woke from the beginning, you've not been paying attention to what Doctor Who is.
Also,
people who complain about being woke always go, David Tennant's my favourite Doctor. One of the campest men out there.
I'm pretty sure David Tennant's Doctor is the first Doctor to share a kiss with a man on screen. As the Doctor. I'm pretty sure Captain Jack and the Doctor kiss.
Probably. That's what they don't like. People don't like. It's the fact Shooty is more openly a gay Doctor, and that's what people don't like.
You know, Jodie Whittaker was a gay Doctor. It just wasn't open.
Yeah. Jodie gets a lot of hate, which she shouldn't.
Yeah, she shouldn't have done.
Story writing wasn't the best for some of the episodes.
Stories were shit. But Jodie gave everything to that role, and she was great.
Yeah. You can't blame an actor for a bad writer. And you can't blame a bad actor. You can't blame a good writer for a bad actor. Like, it swings and roundabouts. Like, end of day, sometimes writers are given jobs that they shouldn't be given. Chibnall's good, but not for Doctor Who.
No.
He's got good projects. Like Broadchurch. Broadchurch is really good.
I did guess it was in the first episode, but I have a habit of doing that.
You like my granddad?
Yeah. It's come to a thing in my house called the Robert Pit. The most obviously out of place person is normally the killer.
But like literally, as a story, Broadchurch is really good. However, did that translate to him being a good sci-fi writer? No.
No,
Hmm.
So
I just want the Doctor to be ginger at some point.
I think
that's why I need to be the Doctor, because I have a ginger beard.
There we go. Campaign for Rob to be the next Doctor after
I'd
she.
love to be the ginger. I'd be dressed in steampunk. It's the one role I'd love. Well, that and playing Constantine. But it's the one role I'd love. I want it, and I'll probably never get it because I'm too anxious to ever try it for an actor role.
hey, never say never. Fan-made movies are a thing.
Don't tempt me.
We do have a YouTube channel.
And
Oh,
I am tempted to make one.
Give us 1,000 downloads. I'll make Rob do a Doctor Who fan-made movie.
And I will look in the mirror, look at my beard, and go, "I'm finally ginger."
That's all I want. I just want a moment of the Doctor seeing their new selves in the mirror and going, "Yes, I'm ginger." Like,
I'm sorry, but if that ever happens, that's the final season. That's the final scene of Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Like ever. Like
I'm
that.
finally ginger when the car is blowing up with him inside.
Yeah.
Or her.
Or her inside. Or them. Like it literally just that is how Doctor Who ends. I'm finally ginger. Exterminate. Off.
On that note, do you know how to edit an explosion, Ethan?
I don't, but I can learn.
There we go. Yeah, I'd be dressed in steampunk clothing because steampunk is cool.
Steampunk is cool.
Yeah, I've thought about this far too much.
I think the other episode that we'll probably do will come around when How to Train Your Dragon drops, and we'll probably do an episode on dragons in different fantasy. Because some dragons, not naming which show, because that will come in the actual episode, aren't dragons.
this is a real bugbear.
It is. It really winds me up. I'm a big nerd. I play D&D every week. I DM all the time. I research dragons. Some of the shows that put dragons in them, they don't put dragons in them, and then they say, "Oh, this is a dragon." No, it's not.
Okay, we're going to have a conversation off mic. Because now I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
We'll also probably talk about Star Wars because Star Wars is awesome.
Yeah, that'll probably come around in May, like every year.
Like every year. And then there'll probably be some other stuff that comes up along the year. Well, that sounds like a really exciting season 2.
Yeah.
So what's today's episode about?
So, as you'll probably know, the new Captain America movie came out recently.
Seen it?
You've seen it.
Of course I've seen it.
I haven't seen it yet. I will be going to see it. However, the fact that I wasn't immediately jumping to go see it, got me thinking. And
okay. So non-spoiler shit, Lynn.
No spoilers now. Because there'll be people on the internet as well that won't have seen it yet as well.
You can tell it's had many rewrites.
The thing for me, the thing that made me want to bring up this topic is literally because I haven't been feeling that hype for MCU movies in a while.
I haven't.
And
it's my problem is I find it hard to ever call a movie shit. It's happened twice. That's Avatar. Avatar with the blue people.
Right, okay, fair enough.
3 hours of shite. And Madam Web.
I haven't watched Madam Web. I can't bring myself to watch Madam Web.
No, it's happened 3 times. Joker 2.
I really like Joker 1. That's disappointing that Joker 2 you think is a good watch.
As a Joker movie, I don't like Joker 1. It's not a Joker movie. As a movie about depression, I'll admit the first one's a good movie.
Right, yeah.
As a Joker movie, no. The second one is just a big pile of crap put together. Which is
Is
a
he
shame
actually
because
the Joker though?
no, technically
Yes
not.
and no.
They
Inspiration.
give you a moment at the end of the second movie to let you think maybe not.
Yeah, because I know in the comic books the Joker has many different origins, and so
There's many different Jokers.
He
Yeah.
did have many different origins. Then they gave him an origin story, and worst mistake they ever did, because the one thing about the Joker is he's not supposed to have a concrete origin story.
For me, we haven't had a good Joker actor yet. We've had parts of good Jokers, but not a full Joker yet.
Ooh, that's an interesting statement.
I like Heath, but Heath was a gangster. And yes, Joker is partly a gangster, but he's not really a gangster. And then Leto is closer to the nutty side, which is more closer to be honest, Joker, to be honest. But if you put them two together, I'd like.
You need a Leto, Ledger, and Nicholson combination
Yes.
to get the perfect Joker.
I liked the Joker in Gotham.
That was really good. Unfortunately, they couldn't actually call him the Joker.
I know, and then again, dubious origins. Was he the Joker? Wasn't he? Kind of was, kind of wasn't. I feel like this is a topic in and of its own. We could talk about Batman.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
You guys haven't talked about Batman. There's not been a Batman episode.
Yes.
Because I myself don't like Batman. I like Joker, I don't like Batman. Which is weird.
We could have a Joker episode then.
I love the Green Arrow, which is basically just another version of Batman, which makes no sense.
Actually, have you done any DC?
Yes, we did one episode in season 2, when we talked about DC. So
I think basically
Captain
what the point
America.
is that we need more DC episodes.
Yes.
Specifically, we could have an episode on the Joker. I think that would be. I'd love to hear more of Rob's thoughts on the different iterations of the Joker.
Yeah.
But you were saying, Ethan, that when the new Captain America's come out, you've not wanted to necessarily go straight away to the cinema.
Yeah. So this is what brought me to the to the main topic of today, of being like, what do you think happened after Endgame? Because let's face it, it is after Endgame that it seems to have happened. What do you think happened to the MCU? Not taking in what everyone says, like the MCU went woke, because that's not true. Because woke isn't. It's not a thing, in my opinion. Like, there's adding more representation, but woke isn't a thing.
To me, it's more, they started chucking more at us, but not as good quality. Because I liked WandaVision, but is it the best? No. Same with Miss Marvel. I don't hate She-Hulk as much as most people, but
I
it's
thought
not
She-Hulk was good up until the final episode. I
got why they did that, but on the other hand, it was a bit shit.
My thing is, I liked the fact she jumped out of the TV and she spoke to Kevin to rewrite the story. That was cool. However, there still should have been some action when she went back into the show. It shouldn't have all just been resolved when she jumped back into the show. That was boring.
I agree there. What else did we have? The Marvels could have been good, but it dropped the ball heavily.
It was okay up until the Disney princess moment, and then the story just seemed to lose itself.
To be honest, I didn't mind that. You could have just had Miss Marvel and whatever the other one's called, Protector, whatever they call her, and not had Brie Larson as Captain Marvel, to be honest.
Oh, you
But then again,
mean
I don't like that.
Monica Rambeau?
Monica, that's the name.
Um,
I'm not a big fan of Brie Larson. I find it quite wooden.
I think her
Uh,
performance lightened up a bit in the Marvels.
yeah.
I did like it in. I did like the Marvels. My problem with the Disney Princess moment isn't that it was a bad moment. It's that it didn't fit the context of the story.
What else did we have? We
Like,
had,
do you know what I mean? Like, this was a people are getting displaced across space. There's people calling her the Devastator. This is a high drama situation. People are getting
and then they went
attacked
to a
in their
planet
own
Earth or
home.
something.
And then they go into a planet where everyone has to sing and dance.
Yeah, it was a bit
It
weird.
it was
Uh,
out of place.
what else did we have? We had Doctor
It
Strange too, which wasn't terrible, but once again,
it would have worked
the,
had it synced up well with WandaVision.
yeah, you could tell COVID happened and there wasn't as much in between as they wanted.
It didn't
But
sync.
for
It
what I
didn't
heard,
sync well.
we lost a Doctor Strange cameo in WandaVision because of COVID.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
it tried to do a little bit too much as well. I felt
yeah,
like there were two storylines going off.
It was
I
basic.
would have had it where Scarlet Witch wasn't really the villain at the end; somebody else was,
It should have been
and she was.
Chthon.
Mm.
Chthon.
Nightmare was rumored for a while.
It should have been if they wanted Scarlet Witch to be the main antagonist throughout the movie, but then they still want Scarlet Witch to be seen as a hero. It should have been Chthon because Chthon is the owner of the Darkhold and the creator of the Scarlet Witch. It should have literally been him possessing Wanda's body like he does in the comics. Because she's
Yeah.
because he has hold because she has hold of the Darkhold. So she was created by him to get the Darkhold so that he could enter the MCU.
Yeah.
That should have been the plot of why Wanda suddenly turned evil.
What else did we have?
Lot of sense.
We had Spider-Man 3, which was one of the better ones.
That was fantastic. They didn't do a very good job at hiding the fact the other two were in there.
That was
Did.
obviously the one.
They thought they were, but they didn't.
We had Shang-Chi, which I really enjoyed. I'm a big fan of the comic character Iron Fist.
Mm.
So I'd like to see him in the second one.
I hope they do a lot better than the Netflix drama.
Same. The biggest problem with that was, for me, the actor. No offense to Finn, something.
Yeah,
I don't think it was.
he didn't pull off Danny Rand very well.
No.
Danny Rand is a really good Iron Fist. So, yeah, I think that would be cool. I also want Shang-Chi to meet up with Spider-Man, seeing as though he teaches Spider-Man Spider-Fu.
That'd be cool. What else did we have?
Basically,
yeah.
in the comics, Shang-Chi is the master of martial arts, like the best martial artist in the world. And obviously, Peter is like a self-taught fighter. So Shang-Chi takes it upon himself when Peter loses his Spidey sense to train Peter how to fight without the Spidey sense, which is why Spider-Man is such a good fighter.
Oh, that's interesting.
Series wide, we had the Falcon and Winter Soldier series, which
I really enjoyed that. It got flack, but I enjoyed that.
There was bits where it was a bit okay.
I remember me and you and Mum actually messaging backwards and forwards through Falcon and a Winter Soldier, and calling, being like, "What do you think's going to happen next week?"
Yeah. They could have hired about Sharon Carter a bit more, because that was fucking obvious.
I wish she hadn't have been a bad guy, but I mean, like you say, it was obvious.
Yeah, I think this movie came at the wrong time. Like when going back to, is it called The Brave New World?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it should have come out following the TV series. I think there's been too much of a gap between Steve passing the mantle at the end of Endgame on.
Sam
Then the
accepting the
TV show,
mantle in Falcon and the Winter
Falcon and the Winter
Soldier.
Soldier, and then getting his own movie. I think they've taken far too long for Sam to actually get his own movie, and kind of the momentum behind it, I feel like wasn't there.
I feel that's probably why I'm not so driven to go watch it.
To me, that hasn't helped. I enjoyed it. It's not one of the best films. I'm not going to deny it. But you've got Sam, you've got the new Falcon, you've got Harrison bloody Ford, and then you've got the guy playing Sidewinder who's good in everything.
And
I don't think he was really needed in the movie. I'd have kept him aside as Sidewinder and just had him as an empty threat through the movie and brought him into a different one. But he's just kind of there.
It's the same guy that plays Moff Gideon, isn't it? In Mandalorian.
Okay, yes, I know that now.
It is him.
I always forget his real name, but I knew who you were on about.
It's not.
He was in Once Upon a Time as well, I think.
He was in the Mirror.
He was the Magic Mirror, yeah. He was Sidney Glass.
Yeah.
If you look close enough, he's been in it. And he's normally good in everything. And he's good in this. But was he needed? No. I'd have just had a bunch of henchmen like I think they were going to do as the Serpent Society. And then maybe have him revealed at the end. And then have him in a different movie. Because he was not needed in this one.
I think what we're hitting on is that the pacing of the movies and the storylines have probably been a little bit haphazard over the last couple of movies.
I'm still waiting for the 10 Rings. Like, the Shang-Chi movie was so good. I'm still waiting for the 10 Rings.
Well, from what I've heard from the actor himself, all he knows is that he is getting a second one.
Like,
he just doesn't know when.
They said at the end of the bloody movie, Shang-Chi will return. And it was like, when?
I think that's the thing, isn't it? Like, the hype for the different movies. When we were in the run-up to Endgame, every movie that came out, like...
It was quick succession. It was like...
in quick succession. They built on the... They have their own storylines, but then little snippets behind. That's why everyone stays for the end scene. Because you were like, oh, it's going to give us a hint of what's going to happen next. And we got to a point where you knew we were building towards Infinity War.
Yeah, Thanos. Like, Thanos showing up at the end of Avengers was like, oh shit, that's the big bed of the entire
universe. And I don't think that they've done that.
They did started doing it, but they've had to change.
Like,
because the whole Jonathan Major problem.
It was supposed to be Kang the Conqueror, and then they've switched it out, which it has hurt it because rather than it being Kang the Conqueror, it's now Robert Downey Jr. comes back as Victor Von Doom. But
I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be intriguing. I'm looking forward to the Fantastic Four movie.
I'm looking forward to that.
I think the thing is, a lot of it's oversaturated, isn't it, at the moment? And the Fantastic Four, and specifically that beautiful 60s scenery we seem to be seeing, feels like we're going back to the actual comics.
Yeah. I think the hype, like we were hinting at, like up until like 2012 when the Avengers came out, from Iron Man up to the Avengers, when you got those post-credit scenes, like you said, when you got like Thor's hammer, you got Cap's shield, you got all that stuff, and you were like, where are we going with this? And then you got the next movie, like the next year, and it was Thor. And we're like, oh, they hinted at that in that post-credit scene.
Yeah.
In Iron Man 2, when Coulson went to go and investigate that 118.
Yeah.
What else have we got coming? We've got Thunderbolt, which I'm sort of excited for.
I'm sort of excited. I like Florence Pugh, and I like David.
I love Florence Pugh.
Florence Pugh is really good, and so is I always forget his name, Bucky.
Bucky's in it. We've got... There's still rumours about Harrison Ford turning up in it. for reasons because of Captain America.
And because his last name is Thunderbolt. Like, it's Thunderbolt Ross, and it's the Thunderbolts.
You've got the lady coming back from Ant-Man 2 as Ghost, which intrigues me.
She was a bit of a meh.
Yeah, but that's more the writing than her.
I know that.
Well, the team
You've got David.
Yeah, he's back and he's going to be fucking awesome in movies.
Basically Hopper, just in Red Guardian
Oh, then we've got
suit.
the lady back as Taskmaster with. I'd like to see an actual Taskmaster. No offense to her. Taskmaster in the comic is fucking awesome, and it's definitely a B version of him. But once again, that's not her.
End of the day, like, Secret Wars is coming up. We know this. And Secret Wars in the comics is a reset on everything.
I think that's what it needs. Don't you think?
It's a universal reset. If they go the route that it looks like they're going, it looks like we're going to get a universal reset. The Fantastic Four are going to always have been part of the MCU. That's how they're going to introduce the X-Men as always being part of the MCU. Because obviously Deadpool's going to be part of Secret Wars. So
maybe Gambit will come back.
Yeah. Obviously, we know that Hugh and Ryan have signed on for Secret Wars.
Well, that's what the rumor is.
Ryan definitely said that he was in multiple movies. Like, his contract says that.
Yeah, but Ryan's also got in Hot Bother recently, hasn't he?
He has. Through his wife, but
yeah, I don't think it's enough connected to him to hamper Deadpool's return to the.
About me, happy. Nice Pool was a piss take of the guy.
I have heard that, but I think it's one of those things where.
Yeah, I think it's what he said.
Yeah. I also think it's Deadpool's too big of a character for them to.
True. I don't think we're going to get a lot of Deadpool.
Pardon?
I can see Hugh Jackman turning up once or twice. I can't see him turning up that much more.
Yeah, I think Secret Wars will probably be the swan song to Hugh and probably Ryan as well. I think it would be a good way to like end the Fox era of the X-Men, and then when you reboot the MCU, you get the MCU X-Men.
Right, yeah.
Like, the universe ends, but because there were mutants involved in Secret Wars, the mutant gene is thrown into the new universe.
Not in the universe, anyway.
And then you've
the
got
only thing I ask...
Miss Marvel.
Well, yeah, but like they've not really addressed that, have they? They mentioned it at the end of Miss Marvel, but that's it.
No, more a tease to what's to come.
Yeah.
The only thing I ask, if anybody is listening who writes these movies, is can we just have one scene where Deadpool meets Spider-Man, please? Please. Deadpool is obsessed with Spider-Man, and they need to meet.
But there's been a lot of rumours recently about who could be the next lot of X-Men.
Just before we go on to that, Rob, going back to your point, Ash, if Deadpool and Spider-Man meet, Deadpool needs to be immediately infatuated with Spider-Man, and Spider-Man needs to be immediately repulsed by Deadpool.
Absolutely. 100%.
Like, that is just how it has to work. And, like, Spider-Man immediately has to become friends with the Fantastic Four. Because I don't know if anyone, like, comic book fans will know this, Marvel Rivals fans will know this, but, like, because if you listen to the lines that Peter says to the Fantastic Four, in Marvel Rivals, it's very obvious. But
What's he say?
he's basically just like the fifth Fantastic Four member.
Okay, I was gonna
Like,
say like I tune it out while my husband plays.
no, it's
It
basically
starts
like
getting annoying after a while.
he's took
He did
in
join the
some.
Fantastic Four at one point.
He did Future Foundation
I
and
believe
stuff
so
like
did She-Hulk.
and stuff like that. But it's like there's a scene in Rivals where he's talking with Sue, like when you're in the little lobbies and stuff,
Hmm.
and he said I can't remember exactly what it said, but Sue says back to Pete, "Well, you know you are family, Pete."
Aw, cute.
So and then Johnny teases him like they're best friends
Hmm.
because they are like in comics. Johnny Storm is the closest thing Peter Parker's got to a best friend, like superhero wise.
Yeah.
Because of
So
Johnny Storm, I'll probably never get one of my favourite Marvel characters.
Oh, who is it?
It's the original Human Torch. He's an android.
He's an android.
yeah, we
Yeah, his
do
name's Steve
technically
Hammond.
meet him for 5 seconds in
Yeah,
Captain America: The First Avenger.
yeah, he's the guy in the red outfit in the tube.
Um,
Uh, he's
you know what? The,
cool. In
you
fact,
know at the Stark Expo, Ash,
Yeah.
in Captain America: First Avenger, where we see the flying car.
Yeah.
There's a dude in a red suit stood in a tube.
All right. Yeah.
That's the
he's Jim
original.
Hammond.
That's the original Human Torch.
He's got cool backstory.
Ah.
He has a rivalry with Neymar. He parts of him are actually part of the Vision in the comic.
They could bring him back as a way to rebuild the Vision.
That
Like,
or do it the other way around.
or they could bring him back as a part. As that's where Ultron's hiding.
Yeah, doubtful though.
Interesting.
Seeing as though it was owned by Stark, and Ultron was in Stark Tower,
So,
it could be that Ultron hid a backup copy of himself inside the Human Torch android.
well, it's a possibility because we are getting Vision Quest.
And it is rumored that
Yeah,
Ultron will be in that.
yeah,
Really? Okay.
yeah.
So
So Speedy's supposed to be in it as well. The other kid.
Tommy.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, because the way that Agatha all along has connected to WandaVision, and then obviously the Vision one's going to come out next. So I think the way that that's going to end up with WandaVision and the two kids reuniting.
Yeah.
Right?
the only other series I know about is Ironheart. That's the other series coming out.
Eh.
I'm looking forward to it. The suit wise, no, but they're using the hood, which I like in the comics. Is cool.
I want to see how they adapt the Hood, seeing as though it was a magical villain in the comics.
Yeah, but he's being played by Anthony Ramos.
Who's the who? I didn't know that.
Yes, hence why I'm looking forward to it because I love Hamilton.
I love Anthony Ramos.
I'm
So
So do
hoping.
I.
I'm hoping they change
He's a
it
very
so
nice
it's some
film,
sort of nanotech in the Hood rather than magic.
possibly. I know the kid from I say kid, he's about our age. From a Han Solo movie is in it. I could never pronounce the actor's name. He's supposedly, the rumor is, the villain from the first Iron Man's son.
Obadiah's
Yeah,
kid.
he's supposed to be Albert Ice kid. That's the rumor.
Are we still getting the Rhodey show where he Armor Wars, or has that been
But
cancelled?
what I've heard, no, but what I've heard, it's now going to be a movie, which I'm looking forward to because I want to see what happens after the Nick Fury series.
Because I do want to see like Armor Wars. I want to see like what happened to Stark Tech following like Peter disappearing from the world and Tony's
Because
death.
the rumor is He's been gone since he got injured in Civil War. So I want to see how he deals with finding out about Tony's death.
Yeah, and I also heard that there is a possibility it could just be from Falcon and the Winter Soldier, because he did say that he was going for an op.
Possibly, but I like the other idea more because it's going to be bringing a lot to the movie of how
Yeah,
he deals with it.
it depends on what they want to go with on it.
Uh, Plus, apparently, the girl from Ironheart could turn up, which makes sense.
I hope to go with the AI Tony that she has in the comics.
That's all up to Robert Downey Jr.
Well, it doesn't actually have to be Tony like Robert Downey Jr.'s voice. That voice actor that does Robert Downey Jr.'s lines in What If does a banging job at replicating his voice.
Then again, it's still technically going to be somewhat up to Robert because he's going to have to okay it.
Well, yeah. I can't see him not okaying it, though.
No, I can't.
Like, he okayed it for What If, and that show, while it was okay at times, was also...
That had so much potential and they fucked it up.
Yeah.
We are supposed to be getting a Marvel Zombies series.
That I'm looking forward to.
And it's the same.
So,
Spider-Man 4 is hit and miss for me because I'm going to be annoyed if they don't bring Zendaya and Ned back.
I want them back, but I don't want them to remain focused.
No.
I don't. I want them to find out near the end of the movie.
I want them to give them the Gwen Stacy treatment from TASM 2.
Mm.
You know, like where he's stalking her, but he's not really with her.
Ned, this is the best time to make him the Hobgoblin. Because you could have him go mad because he knows there's something, but he can't work out what. And he goes a bit mad and becomes the Hobgoblin.
I like the idea because in the comics, depending on the continuity, there's a continuity where Ned is the Hobgoblin, and then there's the continuity where Ned is framed for being the Hobgoblin. I like the idea that the MCU goes with the framed angle, and the way that they do it is Ned remembers something about Peter, which is causing him to have blackouts.
Yeah.
So he doesn't realize. So, and because of the Hobgoblin happening, he thinks he is the Hobgoblin, but it ain't him
Yeah, I can get behind that just about.
because he's having flashes of the Green Goblin. So he thinks he is the Hobgoblin.
Check out the
Right.
Green
Yeah,
Goblin.
that'd be good.
Have we seen the animated Spider-Man series?
Yes.
Let's talk about a point people are going to love and hate. Black Norman.
That was not a big deal at all.
Nope.
Nope.
If I see another person go, oh, does that mean Ryan Gosling can be Black Panther? I'm going to snap because it's completely different.
It goes back to what I've said 1,000 times, and I think we've all said it 1,000 times. Is it fundamental to the character? If it's fundamental to the character, then it can't be changed. Black Panther has to be black. It's fundamental to T'Challa's character or Shuri's character because she can be Black Panther. She has been in the comics. So anyone that hated Black Panther 2 just because Shuri became the Black Panther, sorry, but it is comic accurate.
But people now, people who have a brain now want the actor who voices Norman in the show to play him in live action, and his name's Coleman Domingo. I know him from Fear the Walking Dead.
I really liked the amazing, the Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man show. I liked the portrayal of Norman as like a guy that's just wanting to pay Spider-Man back, but also slightly shady.
Yeah, the thing I didn't like about it was more the animation itself.
Yeah, the animation is a bit finicky. They were trying to pull off old-fashioned comic, but it didn't really work.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
But like I said, like it was
on the
slightly,
note of,
it was shady, but not a villain.
on the note of it being tied into their being. There's a rumor going around that Mr. Denzel Washington, because of promise he made to Chadwick, could appear in Black Panther 3. And there's been many rumors about who he could be. One of the main ones is Mr. Magneto.
That would be cool.
People have gone, but he's Jewish, you can't take that away. And a lot of people have gone, he's saying there wasn't any black Jews back then.
To be honest, at the end of the day, he's Jewish, and you can't take that away. Like, he's canonically Jewish. He survived the Holocaust.
Yep.
That's
but that doesn't dictate the colour of his skin, for one. And two, being black and Jewish in a concentration camp.
Would have caused more.
And then on top of that, being a mutant. That would drive anyone to do what Magneto does. Because he's suffering persecution on 3 fronts.
Yeah, we're going to have to work a way to talk about why he looks so young, though.
Not really. He's a mutant. Just
true.
Just
give
him.
It's going to have to be reference. Because what are they now? 2026 in the MCU?
I know, but he's a mutant, right? And it's an alternate universe. Just give Magneto an extra ability.
True.
He has slow aging. It's not like he's Prime Magneto. Prime Magneto has been turned into a baby that many times. That's the reason he's still alive today.
Well, it could be his clone, Joseph.
Yeah, literally, you just turn around and you say, Magneto has a... Or you could just make it that MCU mutants all age slowly.
Yeah.
That's it. They just all age at exceptionally slow rates. Because the super soldier serum, which is only supposed to really make Bucky and Steve peak humans, makes them young for God knows how long. And I know they've been in cryo sleep, but come on. They're still young.
The super soldier serum gets mentioned in Captain America 4. Because they asked him why he doesn't take it.
Because he doesn't need it. You don't need the serum to be Captain America.
But yeah, and there's a few actors about X-Men that could happen.
One of the biggest ones,
which people keep moaning about, is oh God, what's her name? Pontus. I don't remember her second name. Pontus. She's in that Euphoria show with Zendaya.
Yeah, I know what you mean, but
people don't like her because she's transgender. But the role she's supposedly hinted for is Mystique.
Oh.
What?
You know, the role where it fit for being transgender.
You mean the woman who fathered her son?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me say that again for anyone that doesn't quite get it. Fathered her son.
She's not a chameleon, right? She can change her genetics. I believe that's her.
That's how her powers work. Yeah, she changes on a genetic level. It's revealed that any individual she's ever come in contact with, if she makes physical contact with them, she takes a sample of their DNA, and then that's now part of her. She can literally alter her DNA on a genetic level. She becomes... You were saying, sorry.
No, so I was just going to say, just on the idea of genetics and stuff, you know, we've spoke about this, obviously not on a podcast, but as people, many times, that the X-Men, for me, as a disabled person, very much a lot of their arguments for rights come down to very similar to disability rights, because
Yeah.
everything mutants play with, it's them, it's their genetics, it's who they are from birth, and something about them is seen as deformed from
I get
basically
that. I feel that.
I think I've mentioned
non-mutant.
this on the podcast before, but
Yeah.
in case I haven't, I'll say it now. When I was younger and first figured out that I had a disability, because obviously as a kid you don't realize things.
Mhm.
Mum didn't tell me I was disabled. She told me I was a mutant because I was that into the X-Men.
Yeah.
She
My
was
mum
like,
told me I was a vampire because of the scar on my neck.
Cool.
Yeah.
see, that's cool. Our parents knew that we would be seen as the other, but they went with something that is other in pop culture that I already enjoyed and identified with.
Mhm.
That's probably why I love vampires so much, thinking about it.
Probably why I love the X-Men so much, thinking about it.
But
True.
yeah, my disability is different to yours.
Yeah.
But a lot of the points you were making, I feel the exact same.
And the thing is as well, going back to the movies, obviously the X-Men have always been about mutant rights and stuff, but we've not seen similar kind of, I guess, like ableist attitudes to the other superheroes, when
Yeah.
we know that that's a thing in
I think the thing is,
as
because the
well.
Fox universe only had the X-Men, and
Mhm.
they didn't combine, because obviously they did have the Fantastic Four, but they didn't put the Fantastic Four and the X-Men in the same universe. They didn't give us the chance to see how the public perceive the Fantastic Four as opposed to how they perceive the X-Men.
Mhm.
Whereas if you throw the X-Men in a world that already has the Avengers, you can see how the populace reveres the Avengers while despising the X-Men for doing the same thing, just
Yeah.
because the X-Men were born with their powers.
Yeah.
Mm.
And there's a difference between those that kind of are superheroes because of science versus superheroes between kind of like accidents or genetic mutation.
Yeah, I
Uh,
think my favorite thing in all of comics is one of the biggest haters in comic books is J. Jonah Jameson.
mhm.
Like he hates Spider-Man. He has his reasons. Any comic book fan knows it's because he doesn't like people that hide their identity.
Mhm.
Like as soon as he knows who Spider-Man is, him and Spider-Man are solid.
Yeah, because he
So
likes Parker, he just doesn't like Spider-Man.
yeah, but there's it happens a few times in comics, but there's a specific run in the comics where someone in the Daily Bugle tries to run an article, mutant slander basically,
Mhm.
and calls Spider-Man a pathetic mutie and stuff like that. And J. Jonah Jameson fires him on the spot because he
Yeah.
says, like, he basically says, like, I don't like the wall crawler. The webhead can basically do one, but I don't stand for that. Like,
Mhm.
no, that's wrong, and all that sort of stuff. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it
Yeah.
would be really
How
cool to see,
superheroes
like,
in real life would be treated.
yeah, I think it'd be really cool to see background characters like across movies. You know, like the principal in the Spider-Man movies. I nearly said Harry Potter.
Mhm.
Don't know why. In the Spider-Man movies, and stuff like that. I think it'd be cool to see characters like that in the in like a Captain America in an Avengers movie, like just on the streets cheering for the Avengers. Then we watch an
Yeah.
X-Men movie and they're go home, mutie, and
Mm.
stuff like that, and you're like, what? as a general audience goer, someone that's not reading X-Men on a daily basis or whatever, you'd be like, I'm so confused. When I went to watch the Avengers, this dude was like stood in the crowd going, "Go Captain America, go!" And now he's booing Wolverine. What? I don't get it. I think it would be really good to show that dichotomy between the heroes. I think it would also show and be really, really good to have like the Fantastic Four aren't just superheroes; they're famous. Like they're not just like your ordinary, average, everyday superhero. Sorry, that was a song. But they're a famous scientist. They're the smartest man in the universe. Like the celebrity daredevil stuntman Johnny Storm, the daring astronaut Ben Grimm, and the brilliant Susan Storm. Like they're not. They were famous before they went to space and became the Fantastic Four. Like, I hope the Fantastic Four movie shows that as them being famous explorers of space.
Yeah.
And then they came home and they had superpowers. Because that's the one thing that both Fantastic Four... Well, it's not the one thing. There's plenty that those movies did wrong. But it's the one thing that I think they missed.
Yeah.
In those movies. Like, they didn't show that they were already famous and well known.
Isn't it quite funny then that Robert Downey Jr. is going to be playing Doom? Because Iron Man's the main other character that I can think of that was kind of already a big deal before he's Iron Man.
Yeah. I think that's how they've done it.
Do you reckon they've done it that's why?
I think so.
Because literally, the Tony Stark and Reed Richards are like two peas in a pod, except Reed was already slightly altruistic, whereas Tony had to have a culture shock. I mean, Reed by no means is a good guy. Like, he's a superhero, but he's not a good guy. Like, if you read comics, you know that, to quote the Joker, Reed's one bad day away from being a supervillain.
Yep.
So, like, he's basically, he's too smart for his own good. And being that smart means that he always thinks he's right.
Yep.
When him, Tony, Namor, and T'Challa got together, their idea to deal with the Hulk was to send him off-world. That's where you get world...
Is that where Planet Hulk and World War Hulk come from?
Yeah, because they formed a superhero society called the Illuminati and decided that the best way to deal with the Hulk was to blast him to an uninhabited planet.
That's a character I'd like to see, Rick Jones.
Yeah, we have not seen much of Rick. I'd like to see Samuel as well.
Yeah.
Samuel's basically a gamma-powered Captain America.
Okay, and who's Rick Jones?
The reason Bruce becomes the Hulk.
Okay.
You should remember from the Incredible Hulk cartoon series, Ash. He's the hothead.
It's been a long time since I've watched the Incredible Hulk cartoon series.
He's a big blue monster.
He becomes A-bomb, yeah, but he's
breaks the fourth wall a lot.
He's basically a hothead who accidentally finds himself on the testing site for the nuclear bomb.
Right.
It's Bruce that throws him behind the shield, then the bomb goes off and Bruce gets doused with the radiation. And boom, the Hulk is born. Then Rick spends the rest of his life like kind of looking out for Bruce and the Hulk because he feels responsible for the Hulk's creation, which he is.
I think obviously I knew that these comics were all kind of built on the history that was going off around them at the time they were written. But I think there's a really fascinating deep dive into what society was doing at the time that the what the comic books were saying about the 50s and the 60s here.
Well, there's a reason why T'Challa's superhero name is Black Panther.
Yeah. Oh, interesting. We can have a conversation about 1960s history and comic books, I guess, off podcast. Or on podcast if people want that.
Interesting.
But
I'm just thinking on the other side of it, just a little plug as the lovely wife that I am. I know that Tom, the other person that's been on here, my husband, his dissertation was on Superman and how Superman in film progressed the film industry and like special effects and things like that. So basically, no matter what medium you look at these superheroes through, you can actually track social history through them.
Yep.
Yes.
So fascinating. Okay.
Who wants a social history of comic books episode? Put a thingy in the comments and we'll get on it.
Probably just me.
Oh no, I do as well.
I would love to actually do a deep dive on that because I love that. Like, I mean, Captain America's first issue has him punch an evil mustache man in the face. So
fantastic. I think this is an episode then that needs to be written. But yeah, people comment in. But yeah, where are we going next? So obviously we've got Secret Wars.
Daredevil Born Again's coming out soon.
Yeah, this week.
Is it literally this week? It'll drop this week. So there'll be a couple of TikToks reviewing that then when that comes out.
Wednesday.
So stay tuned every Wednesday for those reactions, either from myself or Rob, depending. Or maybe even Oakley, because I know he's super excited for Daredevil Born Again.
I am, because I liked Charlie as Matt Murdock. I like the girl who played Jessica Jones as well.
He's a really good lawyer.
Yeah. I've actually been rewatching The Defenders, which wasn't as bad as I remember.
No, it isn't. It feels worse than it actually is, but when you watch it again, it's not as bad as you think. I think it's because you compare it to Daredevil.
So that's on the horizon.
Thunderbolts, Fantastic Four. And then Doomsday and Secret Wars.
How long do you think we're going to take to get to Secret Wars? Will that be like next year?
Allegedly, it's supposed to come out next year, yeah.
But I don't think the fan film is, so I'm doubtful. I think they're going to be postponed.
I think it'll be postponed, but allegedly it's supposed to come out next year.
Yeah, I think it's more going to be 2027 and 2020.
So, out of all that then, what's everyone most excited for?
I'll be perfectly honest, Fantastic Four and Daredevil.
Yeah.
I am most excited for Fantastic Four.
I am, because I can't, it's probably because of Mandalorian and Last of Us. I can't see Pedro as the smartest man alive. He's probably going to prove me wrong, but I'm used to a gritty.
He's a fantastic actor, so he'll probably pull it off. But I am waiting to see how he does it.
Do you know what? In press for it, it's nice to see these big stars also have bad anxiety.
Yeah. Because
the girl who plays Sue said, if you ever see him touch her and grab her hand, it's because he's nervous. He's anxiety. He's playing. And it's nice to see that everybody gets it.
Yeah, it does look like a really good film. I mean, I did react to the trailer.
I like the fact they're not changing Silver Surfer to a woman. They're generally going to use the woman Silver Surfer.
I mean, it's comic accurate. There has been a female Silver Surfer.
Yeah. I'd be annoyed if they just gender swapped it because I like the Silver Surfer. Because it's Stan Lee's favourite character. For me, Galactus is far too early to bring in, but fair play, bring him in. And the actor who's voicing him has got the deep voice that Galactus needs.
It looks better than the butthole in space we got last time. So.
It's still far too early to bring him in. It's the first one.
I'm gonna suspend judgment until I've watched it.
I have a feeling what they're gonna do though is the Fantastic Four are gonna lose because they are from a different universe.
So they're gonna be dragged into our universe for
That Galactus is gonna devour their world. That's my theory. That's my stake on that movie. I think that Galactus is gonna devour their world. They're gonna fail, and like how Wolverine in Deadpool was the Wolverine that failed his universe, they'll be the Fantastic Four that failed theirs.
I like the look of Ben Grimm. I like the fact they're using a bit of prosthetic and a bit of CGI. If
He's
the guy,
wearing clothes.
I know it's weird that he's on top.
It's not. It's so much better.
It's so good that he's actually wearing clothes. Like, who would go around just topless for their entire life?
The thing he does quite a lot in the comic.
I know, but it's so he wears tops as well in the comics.
Yes, and it looks weird in the comics.
As long as they give us the one thing that I really, 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 really want from the thing, it won't happen in this movie, but it has to happen in a movie where it's gonna be the Thing and the Hulk are on site. They have to duke it out.
Yes. The actor said in an interview he has slipped in a couple. It's clobbering time. If they stay in the movie is another matter. But he has said he's purposely slipped them into scenes.
That's good.
How could they not stay in the movie? It's like literally the Thing's most iconic catchphrase.
Yeah, but it's a bit corny, and it's the 21st century.
Oh, no, we need more corny.
It's not the 21st century in the movie.
I'm just saying what they're saying. Why is it not?
Because it's set in the 50s.
That's true. It is true. If the guy playing Johnny plays it like he played Eddie in Stranger Things, we're fine there.
Oh yeah, the fact that they've cast Eddie from Stranger Things as Johnny Storm.
I can't say very much about Sue because no offense to Sue Storm, but she's a boring character.
It depends on the run. She's a boring and a bit bland character. It sounds wrong, but she's a bit bland before Reed and her have the kids. But
there's rumors about the kids turning up in the movie. It'd be interesting if they do.
It does sound wrong to say, but it's almost as if Marvel didn't know what to do with Sue until they gave them kids.
But it's not intriguing to see where they go with it.
Well, besides having Sue have romantic relationships with every other male character, and Reed getting super jealous about it. Which, to be honest, I'm glad they decided to, let's just make them a family and stop doing this whole shit.
It'll be interesting to see how Vanessa plays the role.
Yeah, I think she'll do a good job.
But yeah, I'm excited. Bring on July.
Bring on July. So yeah, I think we kind of touched on why the hype's not there. I don't think they're building on as well with like from previous entries to the next entry. If they fix that, then the hype will probably be there. And I think when it comes to the Captain America movie, like we said, they waited too long to release it.
Yeah. That was partially because of COVID.
Obviously, but like movies have come out since then,
Oh.
and they've been good.
They
Like
could have moved
Guardians of the
some stuff.
Galaxy 3 was really good. I won't watch it again because animal abuse, but it was really, really good.
Animal abuse?
Yeah, the scenes where they show what happened to Rocket. Like obviously it's necessary for the story, but I find it very traumatic, so I won't be watching that again. I might skip over those scenes on a rewatch.
I don't know. It's not as good as people claim it is.
What's
People overhype that movie.
what Guardians?
Yeah. Guardians 3, it was a good movie. But it was also, man,
It was one of the better entries that we've had lately.
yeah.
I think that's why it gets overhyped.
But anyway.
But I think we've said everything we need to say about the MCU, guys.
I'd be interested to know what listeners think about where they see the future of the MCU going, or indeed what made them originally go to see the movies, and do they think that magic's still there?
Yeah, let us know in the comments. Is the MCU magic over? Is it due to oversaturation, or do you think they can recapture it after Secret Wars?
I think they can. They just need to not throw as much at us and put more quality control in.
Yeah.
Hopefully one day I'll get this Avengers movie.
Yes.
Doubtful. I don't think Warner Brothers and Disney will ever work with each other, but
no, unfortunately.
We have a man on the inside of DC now who's just as geeky as we all are.
Yes. Well, with that, guys, thank you for listening to everything, and thank you too for joining me on this tangent into the MCU. Hope you all have a great 2 weeks until the next episode, and stay nerdy, everybody.
Bye.